Have you ever booked a guided fishing trip and ended up disappointed? Or maybe you just don't know where to start when looking for a fishing guide. Whatever the case, I'm Andrew Miney and I'm a full-time fishing guide myself, and I want to take you guys through the process of what I would do if I personally were looking to hire a fishing guide. Unfortunately, there are no real prerequisites to becoming a fishing guide. Just about anybody could become a fishing guide, and there are a whole lot of people out there who are basically just looking for a quick buck and looking to take somebody for a boat ride and put a fishing rod in their hands and take your money. Well, hopefully I can give you some tips here on kind of how to try and avoid some of those, look for the genuinely good fishing guides and people who are going to put you on fish, and hopefully big ones, and lots of them. So I'm going to take you through step by step the process that I would take if I were looking for a fishing guide. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to pretend like I am on vacation somewhere and I've got a free day and I want to go fishing and I want to look for a good fishing guide. Now, these tips will apply for both that scenario as well as maybe you're looking for a fishing guide in your own local area for any number of reasons, but hopefully these tips will help you to narrow down your search and find the guide you're after. So I'm going to pretend like I am in South Carolina around Santee Cooper area. Lots of big bass there, and I'm going to be looking for a bass fishing guide. Now again, all this stuff applies pretty much whatever type of fish you're after. All the same principles apply. It doesn't really matter. Bass fishing is my deal though, so that's what we're going to be looking at. And I'm going to look through and look at guides in that area and see if we can narrow it down to a guide that I would feel comfortable looking at booking if I were there. So somebody in this process, some fishing guide in South Carolina is going to get a little bit of free publicity here, and hopefully I'm not going to make some enemies with some of the ones that maybe I don't pick. So anyway, here we go. But the first step that I'm going to do is I'm just going to look up fishing guides around Santee Cooper. Let's see, Santee Cooper bass fishing guides. Let's look at that and let's see what we get. So here's the first thing you're going to notice. One is Fishing Booker. I'm going to try to not go into Fishing Booker a whole lot here. All I'm going to say about Fishing Booker is I hate Fishing Booker, as most guides do. We kind of view the Fishing Booker as the mobsters of the fishing guide world. They use basically similar tactics to the mob to try and squeeze money out of fishing guides. So I kind of hate them. But if you are going to look at Fishing Booker, you can basically go, and my suggestion is you go and you can quickly look at who some of the guides are in Fishing Booker, and then instead of booking a trip through Fishing Booker, go and find, Google that specific fishing guide that you found on Fishing Booker and find their contact information outside of Fishing Booker, because you can't get it through Fishing Booker. So anyway, I'm going to just totally bypass Fishing Booker. It can be a way to quickly reference and look at different guides, but I just hate Fishing Booker that much to where I'm just not going to do it. So the first thing I'm going to look at a few, and I'm just going to pick, you can always find just a huge list, and you can put as much effort into this as you want, however much time you want to put into it as you want. I'm just going to look at, we're going to pick 5, and we're going to investigate 5 of them. I'm going to just basically grab these first 5 that show up, and I'm going to start investigating each of them. So one of the things that can also be helpful is not only looking up the specific body of water that you're looking for a fishing guide for, but looking up fishing guides in a major city that is in the area that you're going to be. So Charleston is kind of the closest major city to the Santee Cooper Lakes. So we're going to say Charleston, South Carolina, bass fishing guides. We're going to check that out. We're going to see what it shows us for that. So anyway, yeah, looking up fishing guides. You want to look for both fishing guides around a major city where you're going to be, as well as the specific body of water. Don't just do one or the other. Okay, so the 5 that I have come up with, I found Corey Casey Fishing right here. I also found this Fishing with Brett, and it took a little bit of digging to find out what his last name was. I think it's Brett Mitchell. And then Kyle Austin, found Kyle Austin here. I think that's at KA Guide Service right there on Fishing Booker. I also found Inky Davis here. Kind of a fun name, Inky Davis. And I did actually end up going to Fishing Booker and looking on the Fishing Booker website to find the names of a couple more. I found William Rogers right here, Fishing Adventures. And another name I ran into somewhere along the way was Matt Outlaw. So I actually ended up with 6 names. So I wrote down 6. Okay, so that brings us to step number 2. I'm going to look up each of these fishing guides. I want to see if they have any reviews on Google. Now, not that Google reviews are like the end-all, be-all of anything, but they help. So it's just one of those things worth taking into consideration. So I looked for reviews for each of these individuals on Google, on Facebook, as well as on Fishing Booker, and there were several of them that just didn't really have a whole lot of reviews. Some of them had some reviews. I didn't see anybody with any negative reviews, so that's kind of the main thing that I look for, is to see if there's anybody that has any negative reviews or less than 5-star reviews. And I want to look at those negative reviews and I want to see what they say. Now, just because somebody has a negative review doesn't mean that it's legitimate. You know, you guys, a fishing guide, I can tell you right now that there are those clients that have just completely unrealistic expectations, or they left a negative review for a really dumb reason, something like that. And so I'm basically just going to look at, if it's potentially less than a 5-star review, I'm going to look and see what it has to say, see if it has any comments, and see if it's anything that possibly turns me off or not. And I'm also going to see how the fishing guide responded to it, because how they respond to a negative review will also tell you a lot about the individual as well. So, but looking at the reviews, there wasn't anything that really turned me off about anybody. So that brings us to kind of step number 3, where I want to look at each of these fishing guides' individual websites. Some of them may not have a personalized website. Some of them may just have like a Facebook profile or something like that, but that's what I'm going to look at. Kyle Austin Outdoors. All right, so is this Santee Cooper Lakes? Yep, that's who I'm looking for. Local professional angler. And right off the bat, I like the look of his website. It's nice, it's clean, well put together. Not that is real indicative of, how good of a fisherman or how good of a guide they are. It tells you how internet savvy they are. That's about it. But it at least tells me that he takes his guiding seriously enough to have a good website. So that's good. So what I'm going to do is I look through his website. I want to get just a general sense of his vibe, and I want to see if I want to look at the About Us. I want to just read through his website, just look at it, just get a general sense of his vibe, and see if there's anything that turns me off, and see if it just vibes with me. Check out our memories. He spelled memories wrong. He gets deducted a point. I'll give him a break. I'll cut him a break. He spelled Kyle, buddy. You got a typo on your website here. You got to fix, buddy. Bass trips. That's what I'm interested in. All right, let's look. How many big bass he's got? Look at all the solid ones. Any legit fisherman is going to be able to tell if he's got a bunch of pictures of people long arming little 2-pound bass, or if they're legit good-sized bass. These are mostly all legit good-sized bass, so lots of good ones. So Kyle, man, I'm digging it. So Kyle's got some good stuff going. Santee Cooper Country Bass Fishing with Inky Davis. I love Inky Davis's name. That dude just sounds like he's got bass fishing just running through his blood. This website will give you examples of how exciting. So right off the bat, I'm gonna judge Inky Davis a little bit on his website. It's pretty old school, and looks like he has not made a website since 1990, or has changed his website since 1990. But you know, whatever, that's cool. That doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad fisherman or bad angler or anything like that. I'm sure he's pretty solid. Oh, it says please click here to visit my new site. Oh, so he has a new site. Man, that was so hard to catch. I'm surprised I saw that. Right guide, show you around. Okay, so his new website is marginally better than the old one, but not really. It's about the same. Okay, so having a chance to look through everybody's websites now, at least the 6 guys that I wrote down. Definitely the 2 that are jumping out to me the best are Corey Casey and Kyle Austin. Good, clean websites, and they're just overall vibe. Worked well with me, jived well with me. Some of the other ones not so much. You know, Corey Casey and Kyle, you know, seem like good, versatile, you know, anglers, and you know, kind of up to date with the times, so to speak. And the other ones, you know, maybe not necessarily that they're bad fishermen or anything like that, but some of them, you know, I just kind of get the vibe like they're going to stick a Texas rig worm in my hands all day, and that's it. And we're either going to catch fish or we're not. So Corey and Kyle seem like they're versatile, and they're going to get us on them. Lots of good pictures too, so good stuff. Okay, now that I've looked at their websites, that brings us to the next step. You know, I want to look at their social media accounts, primarily Facebook and Instagram. Social media accounts are largely what's going to tell me and show me a real good indicator of just how often these guys are catching big fish and putting clients on big fish. That's going to be a really good indicator. So when I'm looking at social media pages, I want to be paying attention for a few things. The first thing I'm paying attention for, obviously, is lots of pictures of clients holding big fish. And I want to also be paying attention to the dates that those photos are posted. You know, if they have lots of photos of big fish, that's great, but if they're, you know, only posting once every couple of months or something like that, then it tells you maybe they're not spending a lot of time on the water, or they're not really catching that many big fish, but every couple months. But so I want to look at the frequency that those kind of posts are happening, and as well as just looking at the overall vibe, again, just like with their websites, of these individuals, see how they feel to me, see if these are individuals that I feel like I would get along with and have a fun day on the water with. So looking at Kyle's, his is very heavy. His social media pages are very heavy towards his tournament fishing, which, whatever, that's cool. It's got almost nothing as far as guiding goes on his social media pages. So, but that's fine. You know, obviously that's kind of his deal, his focus. His one thing that saves him is the fact that his website does have a lot of pictures of clients with big fish. When I looked at Corey Casey's social media pages, he does have quite a few photos pretty regularly of clients with big fish on his social media pages. So that's he's got that going for him. So still, definitely the 2 that stand out to me are Kyle and Corey. As I looked at the other ones, just wasn't real impressed. Now the final step that I'm going to take is I'm going to call the individuals that I've narrowed my list down to, whether that's 2, 3, 1, whatever, and I want to get a feel for them. And I just want to ask them any lingering questions that I may have and just get a feel for their personality. You know, if they can't complete a sentence without saying the F word, then that's going to probably turn me off a little bit. Not that you know, expect everybody to just completely not swear or whatever, but just not my personality. You know, if you can't complete a sentence without cussing. So just seeing who jives with me again, and that's the final step. If y'all watching this video have had, you know, some negative experiences with guides or positive experiences with guides that you feel like would be helpful to share with people who are watching this video right now trying to find a fishing guide, share it in the comments. Let us know what your experiences were, what advice you may have when it comes to fishing guide. And if you found this video helpful and informative and you liked it, then please like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I think we know what to do by now on YouTube when it comes to that. If you are looking for a guide in the Austin, Texas area, please consider me, but also use all of those tidbits that I just gave for finding the right fishing guide for you. I'm not gonna lie, like, I may not be the perfect fishing guide for everybody that comes to Austin looking for a bass fishing guide. And I personally like to feel that out with people, and if I feel like they're going to be better suited with somebody else, I will straight up tell them that. I want to make sure that clients are getting what they want to get out of a trip. And that's just me personally. I prioritize the needs of clients over making money. And I feel like by doing that, the money will take care of itself. So anyway, hope this helps. Hope y'all enjoy and find yourselves a good fishing guide. Remember, you're only one cast away from totally making your day.